South Africans have an affinity for SUVs. All you have to do is take a look at the sales figures. The auto manufacturers know this, and that is why we now have a swath of SUV-styled vehicles that aren't actually SUVs. Enter the crossover. What we have here is VW's answer to the crossover. This is a cross between a Tiguan and a Polo. A crossover Polo if you wish. This is the T-Cross. So in essence then, this is just a jacked up Polo. Or is it? You see, we've been reviewing VW's sales figures, and the T-Cross is now the third best selling vehicle in VW South Africa's lineup behind the Polo Vivo and Polo. So what exactly are you getting with the T-Cross? Now, if you were to park a T-Cross and a Polo together side by side, you'd be quite surprised to learn that there isn't much of a difference. The T-Cross is only marginally longer and marginally wider and slightly taller. Interior space is pretty much the same. The engines are the same. So what are you actually getting? Now, our test model is a special edition. It's the Beats version of the T-Cross, and as such it comes with a whole bunch of special optional extras. The first of them being this energetic orange paintwork. It's on the outside of the car, it's on the wheels, it's on the dash. It's a bit garish, a bit much for my taste, but to each their own. We get to the interior, it's a bit of a mixed bag of materials. You look at the seats, it's lovely plush leather with cloth, some embroidery, multicolored, very, very comfortable as well. And then you get the door cards and the dash, and it's the scratchy plastic, just to remind you that you're still in a Polo. If you go from the seats up the center console, there's more of that orange and grey and black. And then you get the Discover Pro Media Infotainment Center, and that has all the interconnectivity apps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc., all the stuff a tech head would want. That in turn is connected to the Active Info display in the driver's binnacle digital cluster. These are all the things that you really want to have when you are in fact buying one of these vehicles. Now, speaking of the interior, there is still plenty of space for all the passengers. Plenty of space up front, legroom and shoulder room, and in the rear, plenty of space for 3 full-size adults. Middle seat might be a bit of a pinch. We go a little bit further back to the boot area. You'll be quite surprised to find that it is exactly the same as a Polo, 377 litres. But the T-Cross has a bit of a party trick. See, you can actually slide the rear seats forward on the rails, increasing the rear boot space. But then your rear passengers are not allowed to have legs. Now, there is currently only one engine option available with the T-Cross, and that is a 1-litre turbo petrol. It's going to give you 85 kilowatts, 200 Newton meters, and all of that through a 7-speed DSG gearbox. There are no manual options. Now, VW claims you'll get 4.7 litres per 100 kilometers. I've been averaging about 5.5, which is still not bad, because the combination is good to get you up to traffic speeds in the freeway and in town, and yet after almost 350 kilometers of driving, this petrol gauge hasn't moved, which tells you that this little 1-litre turbo really is quite frugal. As far as the drive itself, it's uneventful. There's nothing offensive about it. It's typically a Polo. Now comes the interesting bit. The VW T-Cross Beats Special Edition that we have here is 365,000 Rand. That's right, 365k. Now, we went on VWSA's website and spec'd a Polo to a similar level, and it came in at 369,000 Rand. Both vehicles come with a 3-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty and an optional 3-year, 45,000 kilometer service plan. And with South Africans' tendency towards SUV-styled vehicles and everything that this T-Cross has to offer, I asked myself why anybody would buy a Polo now. I suppose the only thing left is to ask yourself what color you want.